I am Felipe.
I am Renee.
And I am Mariana.
We are fortunate enough to have studied abroad.
We face challenges to reach our dreams.
And like us, many others have taken the risk.
This space is for all of us to share our tales,
our experiences, and our victories.
This is our international path. Hello guys, I hope you are having a great week. And if not, we are here to cheer you up, have you make you have a good time. Today we are having a new segment that it's like just talking about random things that we like throughout the week, or some special things that we just have in mind. I'm gonna start like with my highlight of the week. So one of my friends showed me this new song. It's a very interesting one because if it's like a very weird mix between American culture and Mexican culture. Like if you like hip hop, you might know Snoop Dogg. He's a rapper. He's one of the OGs from hip hop. So this is a very interesting topic because if you have heard about Snoop Dogg or just know him, like kind of know who he is, you imagine like a very hard guy, like the kind of guy that only listens to hip hop and like a rapper. But no, like it turns out that he actually really likes banda, that it's like the country music for Mexican people. And this is a very interesting topic, right?
What?
Yeah, because like I didn't even know that, but here Renee's gonna show you like how he's been started, like listening
please.
to banda music while he drives and everything. Like he's a huge fan of Mexican music.
Oh my
god. Yeah, so
wow.
This is very weird. Like
that's
even
unexpected.
Yeah, I know. Like no one thinks that that's like an actual thing, right? Like you need to follow Snoop Dogg to know that he really enjoys Mexican music. But like even people
do you know if he
that
speaks Spanish?
I don't think so.
I don't think so. Well, just a little bit.
From the songs.
Actually, one comedian, Gabriel Iglesias, more known as Fluffy, he was able to have an interview with him at his TV show, and in one moment of the TV show, like everyone was leaving and stuff like that, and he tells, like this appears in one of his specials, like Gabriel Iglesias specials. So they are like talking like Snoop Dogg and Gabriel Iglesias. Gabriel Iglesias is a Mexican comedian, well, like a Chicano comedian, and Snoop Dogg like tells him like, "Hey, do you like music?" And Gabriel Iglesias is like, "Yeah, I like your music." And he's like, "Oh, give me a second." So he pulls out his laptop and plays like hardcore Mexican banda, like like with the trumpets and everything. And, like this guy, like Gabriel Iglesias, it's like freaking out, right? Like he's like, "Man, do you even understand this?" So he asks him, right? Like he's like, "Man, do you understand what this is saying?" And like sometimes in banda we have like narco corridos, that it's like the story of a narco in a song, like adapted to a song. Mm-hmm. And Snoop Dogg says like the most badass thing, that it's like gangster recognizes gangster, and it's like, man, like that's so cool. So I was playing with my friends online, and we usually use Discord where we can put music and stuff like that. And one of my friends says like, "Hey, have you heard this song? It's kind of old. It's like 6 months old, but I haven't heard it, right? I'm here in Canada. Like we don't get too much music from Mexico." And he pulls out this song. It's called "Que Maldición." That means like, what a curse, right? So give me just a second. So this is a very interesting song because it's Snoop Dogg featuring Banda MS. So it's like a collab between two completely different kind of music, right? Like clashing together, and even the lyrics, it's like very good. Like for those who have Spotify, you can find it out. But I'm gonna translate just like the Spanish part for our
Mhm.
English listeners. So the first lyrics are in Spanish, right? Like how it begins and everything, the chorus. So it starts like, you don't know how much it hurts to love. You don't know how much it hurts in the heart because the effect that you cause in me, it's the curse of missing. Man, like
Oh,
that's so that's so sad,
that's
and
so
but it's good.
So
dramatic.
deep.
And it's like the curse of missing you, the curse of missing you. And then here comes Snoop Dogg. I'm gonna let you wait
Oh,
for that. Like you need to listen to the song to so it hits you. Like that weird thing about Snoop Dogg in a banda music. But yeah, like
It's very
that's my
it's
catchy.
highlight of
like,
the week. Yeah, it's kind of catchy. It's very very catchy. It's very fun.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
that's my highlight.
yeah, because that's also like a lot of the banda music. Like it's about love and
Uh,
heartache,
I mean,
heartbreak, being
kind of like
sad,
Ricardo Farri, like
everything.
a Mexican comedian, stand-up guy person. He has like a skit where he's like, "Yeah, I hate banda music," and like they have like he's like portraying this scenario where because it's very common for banda bands to have like a super old guy. So they're like El Ingeniero Rodriguez. So yeah, so apparently like the band has like a single, and the single is about like a guy just liking like go to the club and liking a bunch of like girls and like their asses and their boobs and whatever. And then like they get having just so much fun, but then he looks at his girlfriend like, oh, but don't worry, because like you're the only one that I like, right? And then
Oh
the
no.
second single is like the guy who was singing at the bar, super sad, crying, and El Ingeniero Rodriguez is like there, like cheering him up, like he's the bartender also. So the guy's like, "Oh, she left me. Why did she leave me?" And like it's like super tragic song.
Yeah, I
So
mean, and a lot
that's banda. It's
of
weird.
banda bands, like they have this very bad connotation because of the narco corridos, because they exalt it, like they make like a very cool thing, like to be a narco, like they really make it look as cool. So people are like, yeah, I don't like that kind of music.
Anyway, so
Okay, we have to listen to them.
my highlight of the story of the week was this book that I just got. It's Atomic Habits. So it's basically how like very tiny habits or changes in your life that you make like voluntarily are gonna impact your life in a very meaningful way. So in the beginning, the writer James Clear has like an example of the British cycling team that they have been like before they won like the Tour de France. They hadn't won it, and they were like the team with most participations in the tournament that hasn't won it. So they started changing like tiny stuff. Like they brought new team, like new managers and like I don't know how they're called, but like new coaches and whatever. So they're like changed their food habits or like sleep habits and like tiny things, and they change like the schedules of trainings and stuff like that. So I think it was like in a 5 year period, they started winning and winning and winning and winning. Like, what about you, Mariana?
Wow, that's good. For me, my highlight of the week, I gotta say that I went to the bank 2 times this week and it's been horrible. I actually went today and I spent, no joke, 3 hours in the bank just waiting. Waiting, it's horrible, guys. Because there's this also the social distancing and everything. So the whole line, the queue was all the way outside the bank. So I was first outside and then having to go inside. And it was just insane. I was hungry. I only was feeling bad for all the bank staff because it was already like 3:30 and they still haven't eaten, and I don't think they even went to it today because when I left the queue was still outside. So I just feel bad for that people working in the bank because I hate
Yikes.
going to the bank, so imagine working there.
It's
I
because
don't know.
for what I remember, banks in Mexico are very like tedious and very strict, and
Yeah.
I like I don't have like a bank account in Mexico because I don't live there. But like when I went with like a friend to deposit something, I remember why we went there. But I was there and I took my phone because I was really bored, and he's like, "Don't do it! You cannot use your phone in the bank." And I was like, "Oh, really?" Like here in Canada, you see like people on their
Was it your first
phones
time in a
listening to
bank, Mariana?
music. No, it's just like I'm used to like something else. Like I don't know.
Yeah, but
Yeah, because
like
actually it's weird because to the bank I went to today, I was able to take out my phone and I was, yeah, playing
well,
and
it depends where you
chatting.
are. You know, like if you're about to make the transaction, you can't have your phone
Well, yeah.
outside because of the like the extortions and stuff like that. Things that in Canada don't happen, like in the first world countries don't happen. Like I hated going to the bank with my dad because like he likes to go like in rush time, in rush hour, like literally 10
Oh,
minutes before they
yeah.
close, and then you have to make like the huge ass line. And I can't
Let
imagine
me.
your case, Mariana, because you had the contain, the
The
social
mask.
The
distancing
mask.
thing. Yeah,
Or,
but in
yeah.
my case, it was before like I came here, so it was like just the normal line, and I hated it because my dad has this bad habit of just going out. He leaves me in the like in the line, and he leaves. He leaves. He and sometimes
What?
they were fast, right? Like they usually take time, but sometimes they are fast. So you are just like, yeah, I'm waiting for my dad, and you can take out your phone because you're about to go in. It's awful. I hated it, and especially because like the security guards start looking at you weird. Like they are like, why are you like
You're,
here?
you're like 10.
Yeah, and I'm like, I'm waiting for my dad.
Horrible.
Don't kill me. Because in Mexico, for those who are Canadian or from another place, in Mexico, in the bank, the security guards have like guns and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
Like it's so weird because they like last time I went, it blew my mind again. Like because they usually had guns, but this time they had like SMGs. No, no, no. Well, like like the small one.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, yeah. And I was like, why? Like why so much firepower, like
Protection
an
and
automatic gun. Yeah.
wow.
Yeah. It's so
Well, yeah,
weird.
that was this
Yeah.
was my highlight of the week because I came back home. I was starving and
Did you
yeah,
eat?
it. Yeah, luckily I came back home and my mom was waiting for us with a warm meal. So that was good. That was good. But those 3 hours, they're not gonna come back. Yeah, they're not gonna come back.
No.
Well, at least
Well,
you were able like to think about yourself, like self reflection.
meditate.
Yeah, be
I took
like,
a book with
who
me,
am
so
I?
I was like reading and I was on my phone. So,
Yeah.
but
That's good.
still.
Pretty cool.
Okay, guys, so that'll be enough for highlights of the week. So now let's introduce our guests. This time it will be a special occasion. We'll have two guests instead of one. And one of them is Giselle. She is a Mexican girl now living in the UK. And the second one is Tom. He's from Vietnam. And they're both working on a very interesting project, and they will tell us more about it. So, yeah, we're gonna welcome Giselle and Tom. Hello, guys. Welcome to our international path. We're so happy to have you here. So, Yeah, we want to know first a little bit about you. If you want to talk a little bit about your background, where did you grow up, please.
Okay. Who should start with me or Jess?
Oh, as
Uh,
you wish. Yeah, go ahead, Tom.
Okay. So I'm from Vietnam, and previously I was an international student. I'm studying GCSE and A levels in the UK. So currently I'm in my gap year in Vietnam, and I'm just trying to like follow my passion and carry on what I'm doing. Relax also, I think, especially under this pandemic.
Yeah, of
Yeah.
course. Yeah. Okay. All right. Really interesting. What about you, Giselle?
Well, hello guys. I'm sorry that I didn't. Well, I wanted to say thank you for having us here. We are very pleased to being invited to your podcast, and congratulations for our international path. I'm
Thank
very
you.
nervous, so that's why I forgot to say that at the beginning. So hopefully this smoothly. So my name is Giselle, and I'm originally from Mexico. I grew up in Mexico City, and I studied the international baccalaureate program when I was in high school, and I started my degree in law in the UK 3 years ago. So at the moment, I am like, well, because of the pandemic, I'm in Mexico, but still I'm studying the degree like of uni.
In the
So
UK, yeah.
yeah, so it's like a mix here. So yeah.
Okay, so like online classes and all, they brought you back to Mexico.
Yes, I think that because in March I had to come back when there was like
Lockdown.
outbreak. Yeah, the lockdown, and in March in the UK they were announcing closure of the borders, like it was going to be likely. So I thought, well, maybe this is time for me to go back with my family. Otherwise, I don't know when I will go back. So yeah, Tom had like a similar experience than me. He was leaving the UK like 2 weeks or 1 week before I left. So yeah.
The experience was rather terrifying. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and we had to pack up everything like as if we were fleeing from the country, like, oh, we need to leave. So yeah, it was a mess, but well,
Yeah,
we overcame it, so that's good.
Mhm.
that's good.
Yeah.
Tom, you decided to do the gap year because of the pandemic, or that's something that you had
Well,
thought before?
actually, I decided to take the gap year even before the pandemic like took place. Just that the pandemic made it come like even sooner. So like studying A levels, I don't know, but it can be quite tough for international students. And it was this time of the year when I said to myself, you know what, let's take a gap year because I have things to figure out. I'm still young. I have time to, go and find out and research about things that I would like rather than studying the majors. And, I have to read books all the time. And sometimes it does not create room for creativity, especially the things that I'm studying. There's a lot of, so I signed up for PPE at university, so philosophy, economics, and politics, and they are very heavy by theories.
Hmm.
Yeah.
So yeah, because of that, I'm not, that much into the creative rooms, which I would love to. So this year, I'm just, taking a gap year, studying about things that I've always wanted to study, like business management, like child education, and a little bit of psychology. So yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Oh, right.
Yeah. Before we continue, I want to tell our listeners and viewers why we're talking to you guys. Mostly from my perspective. So, me and Felipe started this podcast. Oh, we started talking about it in June, July, and then we actually like started like recording, and we had like one or two episodes that we didn't release because we weren't happy with them, and those were in August. We recorded them in August. And then the first episode we recorded was in September. Like no, was late August, but we released it like by the end of September because I was moving and I was figuring out stuff to edit and everything. So it was like our second or third episode, and we had Mariana. We added her to our team as social media manager. So like the next day, I wake up to an email from this girl from the UK saying like, yeah, I'm working on this project with my friend from Vietnam. We were invited to listen to your podcast. Like, can we do something? Can we collaborate or something? And I was like really shocked. Like someone from the UK is asking us to do stuff, and yeah, so they have this project called Asmora, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Can you talk to me about it, like a little?
Yes, and well, sorry that that email arrived like out of the blue.
It was fun.
Long story short, Mariana and me, we were friends on Facebook, and I don't know if she remembers, but we studied elementary school together in the same.
Of course,
school.
I remember you.
Oh,
yeah.
Oh my god! Thank you.
Of course.
That's very nice. And she recommended me this podcast, and then I listened to some like your first episodes, and I was like, wow, this is such a great initiative. Congratulations, guys. Like, I would love to know, like, maybe we can do something together, or like maybe you can like participate in Asmora, or we can like do a podcast with you. So, well, thank you a lot, Rene and Felipe, and well, Mariana, for making this networking. And yeah, so that's the story. Tom, do you want to talk about Asmora? Like, what it is?
Yes, so basically you can just look at Asmora as an education project. So what we're trying to focus on is, this bringing this interconnection between people, international people, because, as international students, we were in the country and we saw that, people of the same cultures blending together, but not of different cultures. So why not try to be different? Because, we are in like this globalized age and people are communicating with each other. London is a very like diversely cultural city. So it would be a waste if, people not being aware of other cultures while they're living together. That also may create like this huge gap in, thinking perspectives. So we're trying to push through this interconnection and diversity of thoughts among people, and also through which would help them to improve their critical thinking. So they can, like through the discussions that you guys have joined previously, this is one of our main methodology. So we found that debate has not been very effective. Because, when we joined debate clubs, it was like war. Like people were trying to like, no, you are wrong, and I'm going to give you this point because you are wrong. And then, this whole process of trying to attack each other's with words, we both don't find that like efficient in terms of enhancing your thinking and also leading to like a higher goal, whereas discussions does. So you discuss, you listen to each other ideas, and when you say it's a discussion, things are much more calmer, like much calmer, and you just feel like you want to contribute your ideas rather than no, like that is seriously wrong, like easily conclude things. So yeah, like in general, we're trying to interconnect people and also improve people critical thinking through our methodology. Yes. So briefly about Asmora.
I would like to add something really quick about that. Like, Tom and me, we met when we were, I was studied, before I started my law degree, I studied a foundation year in a school called King's Education. And that's a school where students, like especially with international backgrounds, can study there and, like bridge that gap, like if there's like an education gap, like to being able to study in the UK. So we met there, and we coincide with this thing about debate, because both of us, we were in debate club, and in several occasions they were like, no, you need to be strong, and you need to be like, even though if you agree, you cannot agree because you're from the opposite team. And Tom and me, we were like, a little, I don't know, like maybe this, yeah, probably this has happened to you if you have taken part in any debate. But that was like very adversarial. I understand that that's the nature of debates. For us, like we were also trying to understand things and topics in a deeper level. And with debate, like we just cannot do that, because you cannot agree with the other person. Like you just have to defend your argument. And well, Tom and me, like we kind of like ended also like a little scared about this. And we said, we need to do something, because like I feel uncomfortable, you feel uncomfortable, and we need to also provide a space for students to be open about things and they can share their thoughts. And I think that also because there are students at that school who come from different backgrounds, like from Asia, from Vietnam, from China, from Mexico, from Venezuela, from Spain, and we all have a different idea of how education is like works, because in Mexico, like at least I think that we are very like, you know, like like group discussions where students can share their like speak their mind freely based on arguments, like reasoning. It's something that is not very common in Mexico, as well in Vietnam or China and Malaysia. And and in Europe, especially in the UK, they really value this type of education, that it's, you know, like if you know about a source or like an author who has defended this stance, like this position, they are not, you can defend your point because there's support, there's like backup. And when you have that freedom to come up and argue any already established proposition, it gives you, you know, like a new perspective of things. And we need to be ready, like how to deal with this freedom, right? Because like me, I was like, no, I disagree with this, because I don't know, like with abortion, I disagree with this because in my country it's illegal, and I don't know, like, and this and that and that. And they tell me, well, here we have like all these sources, all these authors who say opposite. And we were like, okay, so now this means that I can think in another way. So yeah, I think that's what Asmora is for. We are giving that space to students around the world to speak their minds like as they wish.
Yeah, I mean, like going back to what Tom was saying about like the type of education that you have, like where it's like black and white or red and blue, like between like the debates. I think that that's a very weird like it's very toxic if you see it like in the overall way, because it creates like segregation instead of like an idea, like a place to share ideas, that it's what you are doing, where no one is right, no one is wrong, you know, like it's up to the person like to search what's right, you know. It's just like giving out like some ideas. Like when we participated at your project, it felt like very nice, you know, like very organic.
Yeah.
Instead of like no one was against each other. It was just like idea sharing, and like at the end you have a final result.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's true, guys. So really, like, congratulations on your project, because it was really, really nice to, well, for us that we participated in there, and we actually learned a lot. Like from my side, I can tell I wasn't sure about it at first because it was about technology, and I'm like, well, maybe I don't know that much about that topic, but Felipe did, and he participated a lot, and I was like, wow, I didn't know this even was a thing, you know. And it was great. Everyone was able to share like a little bit of their experience of their thoughts, and it was just great. I think you're doing a very good job, and like as an educational purpose, it worked for me. I learned a lot. So thank you also for inviting us to your program.
Yeah, I really find that project that you have as more very interesting because I started high school in Mexico, then I moved to Canada and I finished it here, and it was very hard for me to like make friends. So maybe even if it was like virtually, it would have helped a little, like give me a little bit of hope. I don't know. Um, so yeah, I really like your project, and I'll try to join to another discussion. I'm not sure because I just started a new job, so I'm kind of busy. But if I can, I will. But I would like to know, like, I think we, like me, Felipe, Mariana, and maybe our listeners, would like to know a little bit more about why you guys chose to study in the UK instead of anywhere else. Because Mariana studied in Switzerland, and we have an episode of her like talking about her experiences and why she's going there. Me and Felipe have talked about why we went to Canada. So why UK?
It's a long story for me. So I think Giz also has this problem as part of the has this like reason as part of the reason why she chose the UK. So we both really liked Harry Potter, and when like in Vietnam they put a lot of pressures on grammars. So I went to the UK when I was in like when I was a 10th grader. And like back to when I was in the 8th grade, I was not able to speak English at all because I was not in the environment and I was not prepared to do so. So all I had to do was to fill out my sheet of grammars and then, oh, correct, yay, you passed. So I found Harry Potter, and then literally the instant, like I fell in love with the accent, and I tried to imitate like the accents of every single characters as they speak. So it's like Harry Potter, Dumbledore said, and then I just follow up. So when you have this kind of habit, then you like from through Harry Potter, I have grown my love for the UK, and I just wanted to go there. Literally, my first wish was to buy a wand. So, oh my God, it's so beautiful! I have to get that. And then,
Like
yeah,
he sorry for interrupting, Tom, but he literally brings a wand in his school bag. Like, yeah.
Oh,
like,
huge fan.
Yeah, he takes it out and he's like, oh, I love Harry Potter, like with anyone. And they're like, oh yeah, oh, that's great. And then he's just like, well, in fact, I have a wand in my bag. And people are like, okay, this is like official.
Usually, yeah, huge fan.
it's like you have to, when schools, like schools can be boring, but then you just imagine that you go to Hogwarts and you're like, well, with my bag, with a wand in my bag. Yes, a lot of people have commented, but it's my love for Harry Potter. Yeah, definitely. And also, I think that like every Asian's kid's dream would be to study abroad, but just that how they get to approach it. So for me, it was this whole process. Like my first decision was actually to go to Canada, to Toronto, and things changed when I got like a scholarship from the US, one of the boarding school from the US, and then I was like, so my mom didn't like the US because she said that things can be too free, and because I was like only 15 years old, so she was like, no, no. And then I there was like this whole process of I was threatening her, this is the full scholarship, you don't allow me to go, I would just go, I have other guardians. Wow. And then I just peer pressure her, so she said, you know what, if you can get like another scholarship from the UK at least, then like she will let me go, and she did. So it was this whole like ping pong bouncing like among 3 countries, US, Canada, and the UK. It just yes, it was the whole lot like that year. So yeah, that was just my reasons to study in the UK. unexpected.
Alright.
Well, in my case, well, as already Tom let you know, guys, yeah, I'm also a fan of Harry Potter, and yeah, we are what what is known as Potterheads, let's say.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, that was like a very very huge uh, reason why we were interested in the UK instead of the US. Well, still the US hasn't come with such a great saga as Harry Potter in our humble opinion, right? So and well, yeah, and I think that for me it was something also very cultural, because I don't know if you have thought about this also, but we are very very influenced by um, like the culture of like America and like especially like the UK, like with movies. I grew up with movies like The Parents Trap, What a Girl Wants,
Yeah,
Pride and
absolutely.
Prejudice, like all of those. Exactly.
Yeah.
All that movie, and you're like, I like there's like this thing in your mind of the UK. Oh my God, like London, Westminster, the Big Ben. Like, oh, I want to visit this city. And also, this presence is in literature, like in education. Like when I was in high school, I had to read, like for my English subject, I read the book of Jane Eyre, which is also like it comes from the UK, as well as like other literature. So it makes this country to stay like present in your mind, like from any other country. I would say like from like in my case, like from Canada, from Australia, from the US. Like the UK has like a special cultural influence in me.
Yeah.
And the same as Tom, like when I before also like before I studied a foundation year in the UK, I had a gap year because I wanted to know what I was going to do with my life, right? Like it's a big decision what you're gonna study, and as well where are you going to study it. So in high school, when I studied the international baccalaureate, this is an international qualification, so it gives you like that qualification is valid anywhere in the world, and it gives you that opportunity of studying abroad. And I was not sure if I could do that, and or if I wanted to, like go abroad and be away of my family, be away of my home country without my native language, without like the food of Mexico, weather of Mexico.
Yeah.
Like really, guys, when you go to other country, you're like, oh my God, like Mexico is awesome. So, and yeah, and I decided that yes, I could go. I talked with an advisor of like education, like from the UK, and well, seeing when they saw my results of the international baccalaureate, they offered me a scholarship, and I said like, well, maybe I can go. I spoke with my parents, and also it's a big decision, right? Like it involves like also the financial stability of an entire
Of course.
household, and we need to be also like considering that like very seriously, because it's different if you're just going to study 1 year or like summer than if you're going to study like 3 or 4 years abroad.
Sure. Yeah.
So I could go, and also the thing that I chose the UK, it's because I always wanted to study law, but also this comes from growing up in a country where I don't know, like as a young person, you always have this feeling of why there's injustice, why we cannot be like other countries, why there's so much corruption, why there aren't the same rights to everyone. So my question was like, why there are some legal systems that work better and provide, like, they afford better protection to their citizens than other legal systems. And I knew that if I wanted to get to an answer to that question, I would have to study like abroad, like a legal system that it's like not in Mexico. And so far, I will end my degree next year. I have answered that question partly. And also, the UK has one of the oldest legal systems in the world. Like, it's based in a common law system, which means that there is judge-made law that dates back to the 17th century, 16th century. In the UK, there wasn't a revolution like the one in Mexico. And so Mexico, in as a legal system, it's very young. And we are on our way to develop as a good country, as a country that provides fairness to everyone. So it's just a matter of time, guys. Like,
Oh,
yeah.
wow, that's really interesting, and that's great that you wanted to go to the UK to understand better why things work better in another country than here. It's
Yeah.
really impressive. And congratulations that you're almost graduating.
Oh, thank you, Mariana. Thank you.
Yeah. I have another question. It's like, what's the future for Asmora? Like, do you have any plans for like in the near future, long future? Like, what are the plans for Asmora?
So shall I say? So okay.
Yeah.
You know, in the short term, we plan to take on more partnership for Asmora. So yesterday I just released a post on LinkedIn that we have successfully obtained our first partnership with Apex Leaders, which is one of the top leading companies like teaching English in Vietnam. So currently they have 132 like centers throughout the country, and we are planning to take on more centers rather than just two at the moment to like introduce to students our methodologies and also combine with like the English program to help them also inspire them like for their future plans, whether they would like to go to the abroad or not. And if it were not to be for this pandemic, we would have also connected with King's Education, where we study where I study A level and just study foundation. So basically, we were organizing this partnership. We would open up like a club and also a class. So we have set like we have got this sort of it's kind of a training program for later on if we're not going to be there, the teachers can still carry on using this methodology to host like discussions for students. And like King's Education, they have four different branches in the UK, so we're planning to reach out to those four as well. And there's this new feature that we're launching on Asmora, probably in a month or two. That will be academic tutors. So we're still forming new ideas whether how we should carry this out, and like combining with how we would recruit people to do this, because academic tutors basically mean that this is what we're developing at the moment, that we would have tutors marking writing essays following the 3 sessions, um, judge on grammars, critical thinking, word choices, and critical thinking, whether the whole essays in general flow logically. Because we found that a lot of students find difficulties in forming like a cohesion coherent essay. So that's part of what academic teacher is going to do. We're still planning on it, as I just told you guys. And yeah, so that's the short term like growth of Asmora. The long term one, we really looking forward to develop it as an institute. And I think for the long term one, I'll leave it to Jis because we have discussed about this. Like, okay, you say this and I say
Okay.
that we
Well,
not just
well, thanks, Tom. And I was, like recently we started the first partnership with Apex leaders, and this was like an achievement that belongs wholly to Tom. It is the result of his hard work, and we are very, very happy that he achieved this step in in Asmora. So yeah, our idea is to keep having more partnerships with other English centers, with colleges, because what we are aiming for is to transfer a learning methodology that it's native of, for example, like Europe, of the UK, transferring it to other countries with other education systems. I think this is something very innovative and something that can really encourage like constructive thinking, which is like inclusive, which is more aware, which develops worldviews in students, and also it encourages intellectual cultivation in youth, and to keep that as a habit, like throughout like someone's life. And that's also good even for people in the UK, because they can learn from like different perspectives, like from people who come from other like countries. And I would say that that's something that I notice, like especially in university, where you are exposed to because at King's Education, where we studied the foundation year, we are mostly international students, so we are not really socializing with British students or like other European students. And it's at university where you are like, okay, this is real Britain, like we could say it that way. You start to meet the people, the students. And what I notice is that however well supported their arguments are, sometimes those arguments, they come from a very Eurocentric perspective, and they need to like also take into account other like points of view, like from other like countries, because we are not in the same conditions, like we're not in the same circumstances. There is a different we have different economic, social, political realities, which really affect like the decisions that we make, and also the things in which we believe. And even though we are in the UK, it's good for them to also nourish their thought from these other perspectives, which are real and which are like happening in this, like currently at the moment. So yeah, and well, also Nishi, it's another member of the team of Asmora. She recently joined. She's from India, and we are planning the next things for Asmora, like reaching out people and other like student communities, as well as like education like institutions. And well, our discussions, they are free of charge. So there isn't, like an economic restriction for students. Like, as we told you when you join, guys, like you're welcome to join whenever you want, you feel like it, or if the topic interests you or not, because this is a way in which you can like express your ideas, discuss about the topic that interests you, and also an opportunity for everyone to learn. And well, that's very, very appreciated. Like, I really like every time that I speak with people, I learn something new. And I think that this is something that is also in decay, especially now with the pandemic. There is a big gap in education at the moment. And well, maybe as students, like many of us as students, we are dealing with lack of motivation, with lack of socializing with our classmates. And we are losing that share of opinions, of understanding of things. And this is something that I think Asmora is trying to protect, to recover, to bring back. And in spite of the circumstances of whatever like happens, we can still learn, like stay as a student community, like globally, and like grow our thinking through listening to other worldviews. So that's also why we think this project has like a future, because it's like it is like covering those needs of like encouraging critical thinking, but as well bridging that gap that has been created by the pandemic. So yeah, and well, we invite students to submit articles about anything that you want. We will publish it on our platforms. And as well, like discussions, we have posts, we make posts regularly. So we are on Instagram, on LinkedIn, and on Facebook. So, well, guys, you are more than welcome to join. If you want to have a chat with us, whatever, just to tell us about, I don't know, something that you've, like an idea, discuss something, yeah, you're more than welcome. We're here to like help you out. And also, if you have questions about how to study in the UK, well, you're also welcome to do so. And yeah.
Yeah, like thank you so much for everything, and we will also encourage all of our listeners, or if they're watching, to go and follow you and Smora, and to invite them to be part of these discussions, because it's a really comfortable way to socialize, to get some information about different topics, and like it's good if they're in their room, they don't have anything to do, like why not, like use their time wisely. And
Yes.
as well as you said about like the future of Asmora and the UK, like I want to know, like in the future, do you want to go back to the UK? You're planning on staying in your home country? What is it?
Wait. Oh, okay. So sorry, because I'm using my phone, so I cannot technically see everyone on the screen. Yes,
Oh.
so that's what I think. I would say that my plan, even though I've not started university, but I've had this plan to recently built up, because you know thanks thanks to the pandemic, I've realized how much I love my country and also my family here in Vietnam. So to completely reside in the UK after my study might not be a good idea for me mentally. I might be in the end, what if I may end up without like my original family in the UK, because they're all here in Vietnam, and they're not at the age that they can travel a lot anymore. So because of that, I wanted to work like between the UK and Vietnam. So, just like changing different countries at once, but still I have Vietnam and the UK as base, because UK is also like my second home. I've lived there with my host families, two host families, and they were both wonderful, and they gave me that sort of feelings of being at home. And also I have other friends in the UK. I have Asmora also to develop in the UK. Whereas in Vietnam, there's my family, there's my country pride, and also, like it's just a balance of both things that make me want to, just go back and forth between two countries. And also, I think that in the UK, sometimes because I have always been in the international environment, so I have not quite found like the common in other of my British peers. So living in a country without having fully understood their cultures can be difficult. And especially when I leave school and universities, that environment is going to be, a lot more British. So for now, I've not familiarized myself with their cultures, even though I've lived there for 3 years. So that's one of the reasons why also I wanted to, like just live in between two countries rather than deciding on which one to go back to. Perhaps there would be one that I stay longer than the other. It really depends, but that's the like further goal that I'm trying to achieve. And also Vietnam, through this pandemic, it like the country has proven itself efficient in the way that it can protect the citizen and also in the way that can maximize the economy. So I think that in the future, Vietnam is also like a very promised land, and we have a lot of foreign direct investments coming in. We have a lot of like like treaty being signed. So yeah, I think that's also one of the reasons why Vietnam is like a potential. It's on its way to release its full potential. Yeah.
Mhm. All right, really good. Interesting. What about you, Giselle? Do you want to stay here in Mexico or you want to go back to the UK?
Well, it's a tough decision, guys. I think that really when you, it's just, I think that when you have this dream also of studying abroad and then you see it become true, you are, like you start to think more critically about it, right? Like, is this like, is it sustainable for me to stay in another country? And right now, yeah, it's difficult because I'm with my family and I don't know how I would have dealt with this situation for a long like period of time, like 8 months, 9 months. But definitely when you make these kind of decisions, like studying your degree abroad, that's a decision that it's gonna impact you like later in life. My degree, since it's based in English law, it gives me a qualification in England and not in Mexico, right?
Mm-hmm.
So that entrenches my future in like another country, or otherwise I would have to go back to Mexico and study Mexican law. So there are many opportunities, like many graduate jobs, I would say. The good thing about the UK is that there are different sectors that accept, like, for example, the financial industry in the UK, it's very strong. There are a lot of hiring from banks, and they accept students regardless of their degree. So you could have studied history or classics or modern languages and apply for a job there, and you will have like a job.
That's cool.
Yeah, and that's interesting because that tells you also about how it's very different from Mexico. In Mexico,
Yeah.
I don't know if the same thing happens in Vietnam. Sorry, Felipe, you wanted to say something?
Oh no.
No, it's fine. Yeah, if you want to say something, just let me, just interrupt me. I'm fine with that.
No, it's okay.
But I don't know if that happens in the same ways as in Vietnam, but at least in Mexico, when you choose a degree, there's like limit, like a limitation in the industry where you're gonna work. So they don't have this freedom as in the UK, where I think that their aim with being this open is to employ as many people as they can, like from like many students. And also because in the UK there is like a big variety of degrees that you can study. So for example, here in Mexico, it's like we have like a certain like degrees, like strong degrees, like, and in the UK you have like a lot of options. Like you can study theology, you can study agriculture, like things like that, and that's at the university level. So yeah, and I guess that they value the fact that students have gone to university and now they need to find a job. So yeah, they can work wherever they want to work.
Yeah, I mean, we even here in Canada we have that issue. Like they really want like very specialized people for the type of work. Like I kind of get it. Like I think that it's a good idea, like what UK is doing, like just employing whoever applies. But yeah, like at the same time, like I feel that specializing it's also good because you want the best one in your company. Like I wouldn't let like a doctor operate me if it's not a doctor, you know? I would be very. I guess that it doesn't apply the same way, you know. Like I guess that it's for normal jobs. Yeah, like not that specialized, you know. Yeah.
So before we leave, I want to ask you guys two things that you miss the most from the UK.
For me, definitely Christmas, because yeah, like
You
in
can get that
Vietnam,
one everywhere.
yeah, but still in Vietnam we don't celebrate Christmas.
Oh,
I mean,
okay.
I still shop for decorations. I still definitely shop for decorations, but you know the feeling just isn't the same because every Christmas I would spend my time with my host family, and we would have roast dinners. We had Yorkshire puddings, which is like a special thing that I like from the UK, and we just have this overall time like relaxing. And also, I don't have day off here for Christmas. Like Christmas here is a weekends, but then Christmas in other countries they have it's literally like winter break. Like oh you have months off, 21 days off. That was the case for me when I was in the UK. So definitely Christmas. And another thing I would say is the weather for some reason. Because the weather in the UK, I have to say, it rains a lot. Like, but not like the heavy rain, like the tiny rain. And even though that I always like colorful stuff, bright stuff, but somehow the stormy, that dark gray sky always attracted me. Like for some reasons, maybe I've lived there for a while, so I just find it very attractive and amusing. Yeah, probably the two things that I miss most about the UK. Christmas.
What about you, Giselle?
Well, me. So I'm gonna be very positive about this, and yeah, I'm gonna tell you what I miss about the UK. First, I would say the independence and the autonomy you gain when you're studying abroad. In Mexico, even though we love to be with our family, sometimes it can be like
too much.
Oh my gosh. You know?
Too much.
It's like it's like too much family love and family union. Okay. So So I think I need to, like I need my space. Okay. So
Agreed.
yeah, it's good. And also, but also sometimes you can feel suffocated. And when like when you're going to this like country, living this reality, living this independence, and then when you come back with your family, and well, if you are not like independent yet, it can really, like it can be a struggle, guys. Like it can really be like
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm living it as well.
it's like, Mariana, I'm so glad that you understand me, Felipe as well.
Yes.
Rene,
Okay.
well, yeah, I don't know if yeah, kind of.
Yeah.
And so that's like, secondly, I think that I really, really love the fact that there is like um control, like in the like there in like in the use of cars. Like there isn't the traffic that we have in Mexico, like especially Mexico City. Like that's a thing, guys. Like really, like now, and also like there, it's easy to walk. I think that it's not until you go also to these countries that you realize the size of Mexico, like of your country. It's a very, very big country. Like distances are like massive, and you need to move on car everywhere you go. There, it's easy for you to just like take a walk and be in your like
Get there, yeah.
university. Like when I go to university, I take a 20 minutes walk, and in Mexico I couldn't do that. Like when I was in high
You're not
school,
gonna walk to school.
yeah, it's like I would never arrive to the school if I had to walk. So I think that's something very, very nice from the, like they have a very advanced public transport as well. So, and also I would say the safety that you have there, like the fact that I could go outside and walk on the street without being fearful of being, I don't know, like harassed or kidnapped or something. That also gives you a lot of freedom, because you are like, well, I didn't knew I could, like walk like in the night as well, go to this restaurant, to this pub, like, without this fear in me.
Yeah.
So
I
as
get you.
women, I think that that's something that you very much appreciate when you are in these countries. Like, I don't know if you guys have been like, well, kind of like harassed or something about, yeah, like with women, we are like, thanks God, okay, like
Yeah.
this is
That's
amazing, okay. And
Yeah, absolutely.
finally, I would say that theater in the UK, it's something that it's very, like, it's popular, but also it's like very well done. And theaters there, they are like cinemas in Mexico. Like it's very common for people to go and see a play. I have gone to several ones, and I thank him for putting up with my choices of theater. Sometimes they can be a little weird, but he has come with me, and it's like, thank you. And I think that if anyone goes and visits the UK, they definitely should go and see a play. There is the Shakespeare's theater in London, and sometimes when it's not raining season, they play. They
Outdoors?
make a play of Shakespeare's, yeah, like Macbeth or Hamlet. They have like a
Okay.
theater that is similar to the one that was in Shakespeare's time. So people can go there and actually see how the plays were done at the time. That it's like standing and sitting at like a play for 3 hours, 2 hours, and you can have that experience there. Like if you love Shakespeare or if you love theater.
Moving
So
to-
yeah, so that's why, like if you want to go there, also the monuments, like when we were in the foundation year, Tom and me, like we we visited a lot of like these like places, like touristic places. We walked in London and like with the London Eye, the Big Ben. Like also the architecture is very, very impressive. It's different to the one in Mexico. So it's just a matter of knowing what you want, what you want to like to learn about, to know about, to experience. And well, also I'm very thankful that I met like my best friend in the UK, Tom. And yeah, and yeah, and I miss that I cannot be with him like in the UK. So yeah, that was a blessing. And so, yeah.
Thank you guys for being here today.
Yeah.
And I just have one quick question just to wrap up, because you both are Potterheads. I have this question on my mind since you said it. I gotta make the question.
The question.
Which house will you choose?
Okay, Tom.
Give me a second. I actually, I think I.
It's ready.
It's right on my table.
Yeah.
Oh no.
Yeah,
100%.
You too, Giselle?
Yeah, 100%. Yeah. Yeah.
Great. We had two amazing Gryffindors today, and we'll just thank you so much for tuning in, for joining, and like we encourage again all of our listeners to go and check Asmora out and to participate.
Follow their Instagram.
You're doing a great job. Follow on Instagram. We'll have all the information in the description, and also like subscribe to our YouTube channel, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, whatever you decide.
Okay. Yeah.
Yes, definitely. I mean, thank you all for having us here. I mean, it's our pleasure to be invited to such a podcast, amazing podcast.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you so much, guys, and we wish you the best of luck. And yeah, we'll keep in touch. Let us know what else you are up to in the future.
Okay.
Well,
thank
you guys. Thank you guys. Good luck and long life to Harry Potter.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye bye.